What's up guys, English Dan back with another video. You'll have seen last week sometime I unboxed this Motorola Edge. And now I've been using it for a little while, I feel it's time for a review. Motorola call this the $500 flagship. Don't get me wrong, it has a cracking screen, but I think they may be pushing it at flagship. But that doesn't mean it's a bad device. I'll tell you more in a sec. Welcome back guys. So let me just get this out of the way. Motorola make a phone like this that's called the Motorola Edge Plus. It's like the most premium phone they've made in years. It's got the highest 865 processor, you name it, it's got the highest versions of it. This isn't that. With them saying, hey, it's a $500 flagship, I think that's a little naughty. This is a mid-range device, but it's got a flagship spec screen strapped to the front of it. So that's what I will say. But I'll get more on that in a little bit. So the Motorola Edge cost $499 when you pre-ordered instead of $699. That's what they said the price was going to be, $700. But it's still $499 as of right now. So it's a pretty good deal all in all at $499 when you consider what you're getting. That's a 4,500 milliamp hour battery, 6 gig of RAM, Snapdragon 765G, so you do get the gaming optimized version of the 765. A little bit faster, a little bit more fluid. You also get, like I mentioned before, the screen is a 6.7-inch AMOLED display and it's got a 90 Hz refresh rate, so it just helps everything to be that little bit more smoother. It's also got a hole punch display, so no notch, which is a nice thing as well. USB-C charging, a couple of great sounding speakers on this device, really do like them. It's got the endless edge display going back to the display, so this literally curves 90 degrees. It's not like a tapered edge like you've had on Samsung devices before. This is a 90-degree turn. Looks spectacular. Your volume rocker and your power buttons are a bit further back on the actual body, but it's nothing you can't get used to. But overall it reads well when you look at the spec sheet. But how does it work in day-to-day use? Well, I'm going to tell you. So let's talk about the design. There is no doubt that this thing is the best looking phone at $499 and less. It's just a stunning looking phone, and it's all in part to this display. The display is really nice. Like I said, it's a 6.7-inch AMOLED display. It's also HDR10. Not HDR10 Plus like the Motorola Edge, but at least you're still getting HDR10 support in this. The screen on this is what sets the eye candy bar so high, and some people may be a little bit disappointed that when you get to the rear of this device, it's actually, I mean, it looks nice. As you can see on the camera, it reflects really well. It's very glossy and it's a fingerprint magnet, but it's also plastic. Yep, it's a plastic back. Some people are going to think that's a bit of a downgrade. I actually don't mind it because it keeps the device feeling really, really light. And then you've got this really nice camera array on the back. Camera array on the back just here. So they've not gone with the big ugly hump like a lot of companies are going with now. They're going with this nice array where it goes down in a line across the back of the phone, which I'm quite happy with. They also don't protrude very far either. I don't know whether you can see that on here, but they don't protrude at all, really, very slightly. And then once you put the free case on that you get in the box, they don't protrude at all, one bit. So yeah, the phone does look really good. You also get 3.5mm headphone jack for once. It's on the bottom here next to the USB-C charging, which is also fast charging. Comes with a 15-watt charger in the box, so it's not the fastest charging, but it will charge a lot quicker than, you know, your old 5-watt chargers that came with the iPhones. So yeah, you do get a fast charging solution on this. 3.5mm headphone jack though. For a phone that feels slim and really light, I'm quite pleased to see that they've still got this. So let's talk battery life on this thing. They say it's a 2-day battery, 4,500 milliamp hours. And now depending on how you use this, you might be able to get almost 2 days. I don't consider myself a heavy user, but I'm just going to say average. Average use, this is an all-day phone for me. Maybe when I get home I've got 15, maybe 17% left at the end of the day when I'm getting in bed, which is great still because it's not like sweating looking at my phone thinking, am I going to make it? Do I need to put stamina mode on and gimp my device? No. So I'm comfortably getting all day and maybe 10-20% for the next day, but I'm definitely not going to get 2 days out of this. But 4,500 milliamp hours, it's nice to see in a phone at $499. It runs really good for battery life. Let's talk about the cameras. As you saw, you've got all these cameras on the back, and then you have a hole punch camera on the front. Let's start with the back. You get a main 64 megapixel camera, an ultra wide 16 megapixel camera, and a 8 megapixel telephoto lens. On the front, you get a 25 megapixel selfie camera. On paper, they all sound really well. In reality, and I know it's strictly down to Motorola's software. So the pictures out of the 64 megapixel camera are they can get details. You can get some good pictures if you've got like really good lighting and really good conditions outside. So it can display some good photographs, take some good photographs. The 16 megapixel ultra wide is also pretty good, but it does soften up a little bit, and the telephoto is okay at 2x zoom. Anything above that kind of looks kind of garish. I'm not really impressed. The cameras on this I'm just not thrilled with. The color signs can be kind of off sometimes, and then other times it can be totally flat and have no pop whatsoever. You get that oil painting look on your skin and things. It's like it tries to smooth your skin out, but it doesn't have an option in here to turn off any of that, where, you know, smooth skin effects or trying to make me look pretty. I mean, why would I need to make myself look pretty? I am a god. Anyway, so the cameras on the back are the best camera on this is the front-facing 25 megapixel, which again in great light can take some really good portraits. Good cutout on the portraits, looks decent. You know, it is the better camera on the back. It is the better camera on the front, which is bizarre. Again, though, it's inconsistent and can be soft sometimes and gives you that oil painting look. So, like I was getting at before, the main thing that makes this not a flagship, and this isn't a kick in the teeth to this thing at all, is it's not got the 865 in there. It's got the 765G with 5G connectivity, so you got no problem there. 5G connectivity under $500 is pretty good at the moment. The Snapdragon 865 costs vastly more, and that's why a lot of these phones are now like $1,000 plus that contain them chips. It's kind of sad, really. The 765 is actually a really good processor, especially the G version. Now, in day-to-day usage, I wouldn't know that I wasn't using a Snapdragon 865. And I carry an 865 device with me. I also carry a 730G device with me. I also carry another 765G device with me. And I now carry this 765G device with me. Let me tell you, all them 765s and the 730 in the Pixel, I just wouldn't realize that I wasn't using an 865 when it comes to, you know, scrolling through Twitter, Facebook, reading news, watching reviews, watching Google Play Movies and Netflix, things like that. It's not an issue. It doesn't lag, it doesn't struggle, it doesn't splutter. It's just a really smooth experience when you're using this. So don't be put off by, oh, it's only got a 765. You probably wouldn't know if no one told you that it had a 765 in it. So yeah, that's the only reason I'm going to say, it's the main reason I'm going to say it's not flagship, but it performs like a flagship. Software is much like Motorola software has been for a long time. It's got the chop for the flashlight, even though mine's not going to work because I've not got it set up, and it has the twist to bring the camera on, which it does do on this. I've just done that and it's asking me to enter my pin, but whatever, we'll enter the pin and we'll show you. So it's got the chop. You ready? Oh, that's the light. So chop for the light. Wow, down. Okay. Seems it has to be unlocked first. Chopping again, we'll turn it off. And then 2 twists of the wrists, it'll come up with the camera. You'll see mine's asking me what camera does it want to bring up. And I like the way it does that, because I was just talking about the cameras, and the cameras aren't very good. But as soon as you put the Pixel camera on here, Gcam 7.3, it changes everything. And I'm going to show you that in another video, how just Gcam makes this thing so much better when it comes to photography. But that's by the by. That's Motorola software for you. They do have a couple of edge tricks as well, but I tend to turn them off. Once you turn the edge tricks off, it makes it so that you can't do phantom touches on the side of the screen, which is nice. I like that because I have fat burger paws. Now, if you do have the edge things turned on, basically you can swipe down from the side of the phone and it'll bring the notification shade down. Swipe down again, brings down the shortcuts. That's it. Nothing that putting your thumb into the middle of the screen won't do any different, you know. It's just exactly the same regardless. So whatever. I turn them off because I don't want phantom touches. You can also customize the software on this. So Motorola software is pretty much stock and they just add their own few little bits in there. It's nothing heavy and it reminds me a lot of Oxygen OS on the OnePlus. Only adds things in there what they think is going to bring value. And to some people the Edge stuff might bring value, to me it didn't. But you can also customize the font, the colors, the way the phone looks, like the actual interface color, things like that, which, you know, is nice for some people because they like to make their phones look a certain way. I'm not bothered. I just like the clean stock look, and that's me. I'm good with that. I like dark themes, and yeah. And just for the sake of going through, because I'm going through different sections, I'm just going to touch on the screen again. And yes, it is a OLED display. It's 1080 by 2340. It's really easy to hold because it's long and slim. Unlike me, I'm squat and fat. Whatever, you know, it's a nice contrast between us. But yeah, really nice display. And the wallpaper, the video wallpaper is cool because I love the way the waves change. I'm sorry if you couldn't see that, but see, I swipe that way, wave that way. Swipe that way, wave that way. I'm easily entertained, guys. What can I say? You know, it's just the way it is. Overall, I quite like the Motorola Edge. At $499, you're getting a phone that looks like a flagship device, has the screen from a flagship device, has some really good sound, good battery life, really good performance with a high refresh rate screen at 90 Hz. Alright, it's not 120 like you're getting this year, but it still makes a difference. There's a bigger difference from 60 to 90 than what there is going from 90 to 120. So you're going to get the main benefit out of this being a smooth, nice display to use. It's got 256 gig of storage, has a headphone jack, USB-C. It's got fast charging, no wireless charging unfortunately. It's a good device. The only thing that lets it down for me is the actual Motorola camera software. Cameras are capable because, like I say, if you throw on Gcam onto this device, you can get some really good pictures. But as it stands right now, Motorola really need to work on the camera on this. They do also only promise one update. So whether that means when Android 11 comes out, that will be it, I don't know. Since I've had this phone, there's been no updates whatsoever, and I'm still on June 1st security patch. Ever since Motorola got bought by Lenovo, they've not been really good when it comes to that. So, yeah. We'll see, right? Yeah. And other than that, though, it is a nice phone. I love the way it feels. I love the way it looks. It's very light. It's great for watching media. It's a very, very good device. And at $499, it's very competitive as well. If you're looking for a phone that's going to be fast, smooth, and is eye-catching, then this phone is for you. But if you're coming from, say, like an older Pixel and coming to this, the cameras are going to really disappoint you because the bar between them is massive. These will be okay for just throwing pictures on Facebook and Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, things like that. They'll be okay for that, but that's about it. If, like I say, if you came from a Pixel or an iPhone, the cameras in this are severely lacking with Motorola's software. So yeah, that's the Motorola Edge. This is English Dan, and I am saying good night. Laters, guys.